Hey friends, we have 9 months left until the end of the year. If you want to make it the best year ever, you still have plenty of time, okay? We have 4 quarters in a year. Quarter 1 is now over. We have 3 quarters left. If you want to be productive, if you want to get what you dreamed of getting done this year, you're going to love these next 15 minutes of the video. Watch it, take notes, implement it, because it's going to help you out so much. And I'll tell you one reason why. Clarity precedes mastery, right? If you do not know where you're going or what you're going to be doing this year, you're going to wake up in the morning and be like, oh, let's do anything, let's just chill, let's just play games. But if you know that you have a plan and you know what you need to get done, you're going to be amazed, absolutely amazed by what you can accomplish by the end of the year. And guys, we are 3 months down of the year. We have plenty of time left. Please make something of this year and get to the end of the year just having the best year ever. So watch this video. The next 15 minutes is going to be amazing. It's how I plan my year and how I'm planning the next 9 months of my life and how I'm focused on getting stuff done. And I want you to win. So let's go. Imagine you're a wizard and you can and will achieve anything. What needs to happen between now and the end of the year for you to have the single greatest year of your life? That is the question. Let's go. So, hello my friends, my name is Hilan. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to take you through an incredible planning process. So no matter where you are on your journey or where you've been, this is going to take you forward. It's going to give you clarity. It's going to allow you to stay focused throughout the year so that when you get to the end of the year, you're going to be like, damn, that was amazing. I can't believe I did that. And that's what we want from you guys. And I know it's February. And I know that maybe you might have done a planning process before, or you might not have done one. This is for you. And this is for the entrepreneurs, even if you're in a career, anyone out there who just wants to have a better year and knows they've got more to give to themselves and they've got this potential which they want to fulfill, you're going to love it. So we're going to cover why you need to plan. Right, then we're going to have a look at some problems that if you come across, and it comes down to 2 main areas, these problems. Then we're going to have a look at the world-class system behind the planning, and I'm going to take you through the vision, the priorities, the strategy, the philosophy, and the delivery. These 5 stages of a world-class planning system. Then we're going to actually look at the strategy in detail, and this is the core concept of the planning. Right, and by the end of this, once you've done this strategy, and it's called the 30 system, once you've done this 30 system, you're going to feel like the wizard. You're going to be like, I've got this, we've got this. By the end of the year, you're just going to run right, and then you're going to do it again next year, and then you're going to compound and compound and compound, and you're just going to be the best in a few years' time. So this, for me, has helped me massively. I've gone from like chaotic mess to calm, serene, and tranquil because I've been doing this process. And this year so far has been the most in-depth planning I've done. And I'm going to take you exactly what I've done and how I've fared. So let's go. So why do you need to plan? Right, clarity is absolutely a massive point in this, right? If you don't know where you're going, how are you going to get to where you're going, right? Imagine jumping into a taxi and saying, take me to wherever you want to go. And the taxi driver, the Uber driver is like, cool, I'll take you to where I want it. And then you get there and you're like, this is not where I wanted to go. So you need to plan your year. Otherwise, everything's going to take over and then you're not going to get to the stage where you feel accomplished and fulfilled. So that is a massive point, right? You then need focus because there's so many distractions in the world that if you don't have a plan to follow, you're going to wake up one morning and be like, I've got nothing to do. Let's just relax. Let's play games. Let's just do nothing, right? And then again, you're going to get to the end of the year and be like, I didn't really get much done. And the thing with social media is that you're opening yourself up to seeing so many different people achieve so many different things, right? And that's what you probably want as well. You're thinking, how are they doing that, right? So another reason is all the top performers in the world, they all plan. They all do annual reviews. They do weekly reviews. They do monthly reviews. They do quarterly reviews. Yes. Go online, research it, validate yourself, whatever information you need to be able to get yourself to do this annual review, do it, right? Find out your favorite people, your favorite influencers, see what they do, and then go and research it. But you come back to this and make sure you get this done. And then you've got the difference between thinking and actually doing, right? So a lot of people procrastinate because they don't know what they need to do. And that means they think and they overplan and they overthink about things, and then they never actually get it done. So the whole point of planning is that you spend a chunk of time up front to plan your year, to get clarity on it, to take your time to figure out what steps you need to take to make your dreams come true for the year. Remember, you're the wizard. You can make anything happen and can happen this year. And then you focus on the doing aspect, right? And then every now and then, like every week or every month, you come back and say, am I on plan? And you tick it and then you move on. So you hardly actually need to think about things after you've planned. And that is the biggest thing ever. Like when I didn't do that, I was like overwhelmed, anxious, panic attacks. I was like, where do I go? What do I do? Why am I not trusting my own process? Why is it not happening fast enough? Everything's so slow. So these are the things that you can overcome. So there's a sliding scale between thinking and doing, but you sort out the thinking and the planning, you get it over with, and then you execute. And then you come back every week and every month, and you just have a quick look at where you are. Are you on the right direction? Are you in line with where you want to go? And then you go back to actually doing the work. So it just takes the guesswork out of it, takes the decision making out of it, and it is just beautiful. So then if you've got any problems along the way, right, it's going to come down to two main things, either your planning or your execution. And these are both problems that I've had in the past and I still do now, right? So a lot of people are very optimistic about their plans. And even me, I'm like, oh, I can do this year. I can do this. I can do this. I'm like the wizard that has steroids inside of him, right? And I believe I can do like this much. Right, so what I had to do was I had to make a plan. Then I gave it to my fiance to check and say, how realistic is this plan? Because she knows me better than I probably know myself. And she was like, you're not getting this done in the year. And then she started taking things out. And I'm like, oh crap. She started crossing things out, right? And then she actually made like a more realistic plan. And even now in February, 1 month later, I still can't even hit that plan. So it shows that we're super optimistic about things. So definitely make the plan and then have someone else check it so that it's actually realistic. Or you'll get to the end of the month and in a few months' time, you'll be like, you'll either give up or you'll say, why am I not moving fast enough? I can't do this, etc., 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 because it's unrealistic. So that's the one problem that can happen is the planning stage. Then the execution stage is basically, you've got too many distractions. You're not focused enough. You're not putting enough hours in. Most people don't actually understand how many hours it takes to get something done. Right, when you're training at the gym and you want a six-pack, you go to the gym, try get a six-pack, it's a lot harder than you think. Running a business, starting a business is much harder than you actually think. Most things are actually much harder than people think, right? So plans kind of help you figure out, right, this is what I want to do, this is where I want to get to, how realistic is this, and how much work do I need to do? So a lot of people don't sacrifice enough to get to where they want, right? And then they feel overwhelmed so that they're not getting far enough or they're not going fast enough. So those are the two main problems you have. And the solutions are to, what I said, get someone else to check the plan to make sure it's realistic. Do the weekly reviews and monthly reviews to make sure you're in line with where you're going, right? So you have to follow the plan. And if you're not catching up with what the plan actually says, your plan's probably even more optimistic or you're not taking enough action. And that is pretty much it. So you'll get better at this. If you're new to planning, right, you'll get better at this. I'm already like 25, 30% better than when I first started. And I'm still not very good, but I'm improving. And this process and this system helps me massively. So those are the two problems you're going to come to when you plan. Amazing. Let's move on to the actual 5-stage process behind a world-class year. And the first one is a vision. So we've got the vision, the priorities, the philosophy, the strategy, and the delivery. Those are the 5 stages. So the vision is your mountaintop. That is where you can see the end goal of the year to be. When you're the wizard, you're like, this is going to happen by the end goal, right? And that is the question that you have to ask yourself is, if you are to have the greatest year of your life, what do you have to do between now and the end of the year? And that is essentially the vision, right? You articulate that, you journal on it, you write the answer to that question, and you come across anything you want to get done in this year. Literally just go wild with your imagination, because then you'll filter it down to the most realistic priorities, which is the second stage, right? And priorities are like the lighthouse. They're like the map, okay? Like you've got this map, these are the priorities. It's like you've got to go through these different milestones to get to the end goal, which is like the treasure. And you can think of yourself as a character in your own game, right? So you've got this map and you've got to go through this uncharted territory, right? You've got obstacles there, you've got some obstacles there, you've got to overcome them to get to where you want to go to. So you're actually a character in your own game and you've got this map, right? And the map is the lighthouse, it's the guide, it's the It's the direction you need to go and the priorities you need to take to get there. And the best thing about priorities is that you're running your own race, right? You're not following what other people are doing, and that's really important. You're finding your own individuality. What do you want to get done by the end of the year? Not someone else. You're not living someone else's life, you're living your own life, right? Be yourself. Oscar Wilde says, everyone else is taken, be yourself. And that's what the priorities does, okay? So you list out the few priorities that you need to get done on your way to the path, right? And then we're looking at the philosophy. And this is like the guide, the wisdom, the belief system that you have, right? The philosophy is like, if I fail once, I'm gonna keep going again. If I get knocked down 8 times, I'm gonna go 9 times, right? Your philosophy is like how you do business. It's like what your outlook is on life, what your belief system is, right? You've got to develop your own philosophy. And I suggest you find your own philosophy in reading, in courses and podcasts and YouTube. And this is how I built my philosophy, by learning. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I'm going to write that down. And I took a note of it. And then I've built my collection over time. And this philosophy is like my guidance, right? It's my guiding principles. If I get lost along the way, I'm like, oh, I can come down. If I fail 1 or 2 things or fall on the obstacle, I'm like, knock down 8 times, get up 9 times. Then we're gonna have a look at the strategy. And strategies are like the habits, the routines, the regimes. Some of the questions I'm gonna give you in the 30 system is the strategy, right? And we're going to come to that in a tiny bit more detail next. Then we're going to have a look at the delivery, which is the final stage. It's the 5th stage. And the delivery is basically your day planned. So your day is your life in miniature. If I told you to open your calendar right now and say, what's your day like, right? That's going to extrapolate into the weeks, into the months, into the quarters, into the years, and into the decade. So whatever your day is like, it's going to follow your year, and it's going to follow the month and the decade. So get your day right and focus on the day, and then let everything else take care of itself. And that's the point of the delivery, right? We're basically converting that 1-year plan into monthly chunks in January, February, March, April, May, June, right? And then we're going to have like 3 goals in each of those months. And then delivery is just going to be knocking it out and breaking it down into smaller chunks so that you know what you need to do every single day. But I think the whole point of this is for you guys to do like the holistic system and then get deeper and deeper into it. Okay, let's move on to the actual strategy, which is the 30 system. This is the core of this whole thing, right? So we're going to answer some questions in this, and these are the questions that are going to give you the clarity to basically have everything sorted, right? We're going to look at the 5 big targets. You're going to write down 5 targets for the year. When you've got that magic wand, what are the 5 targets that are going to happen for you? Then we're going to have a look at the 5 life changes. What life changes are you going to have in your life that are going to change things about yourself so that you get to where you want to go to? So that can be like, you're going to get super fit. You're going to increase your confidence, right? It can maybe mean that you want to move from consuming information to producing information, right? So you might be a creator and you might want to stop reading so many books and apply what you want to read, right? And that is a life change. Then we're going to have a look at the 5 values. So you're going to write down 5 values which you're going to adhere to this year. And these could be like honesty, integrity, authenticity, leadership. You can have like commitment, beauty. So these are the 5 values. Go onto Google and type in, say, give me a list of values, right? And you can literally you can search Google and come up with like 50 different values. Pick 5 of them which you think you want to develop this year, right? Some of mine are like authenticity and integrity and commitment. Commitment's a really big thing for me. So I've learned recently that only when I commit, I actually get stuff done. So it's now like drilled into my head to commit. Then we're gonna look at 5 non-negotiables. And these are basically like things that you have to get done. So I know some of these things may sound similar to each other, but follow me through on this one. And the 5 non-negotiables are like 3 exercises per week, right? Wake up before 3 a.m. Bring the joy. That is a non-negotiable. Even if you feel pissed off or you're like angry one day or you've had a bad sleep, you still have to say a non-negotiable is to bring the joy. I'm not going to put anyone else down and I'm going to bring the joy. Another one that I've got is no excuses. So I'm like super grateful for everything I've got in my life. And I'm like, why am I complaining? I used to complain so much before. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with me? Why am I complaining? So one of my non-negotiables this year is no excuses, right? And then another one is like, you can set intentions before you do anything. Right, so anything with an intention, it gives it a bit more purpose and a bit more meaning. So I've started to do that in my life, and that's one of my non-negotiables. Then we've got the 5 key life rules. And these are basically a little bit like the philosophy side of things, right? It's like the guidance, the life rules that you're going to put, the rules you're going to put in place to make sure you do things. Some of mine is like, don't hold back due to fear. Anytime I'm fearful of something, I have to attack it, right? If I hold back due to fear, I'm not going to reach the end of the year being like really happy with where I've got to. Another one is take full responsibility of everything, right? Another one is leave people better than I found them. Okay, that's such an important one. Leave people better than I found them. That's like a life rule. Anytime I meet someone, I want to try give them value or try make them feel better about themselves or like uplift them, right? And that's like a life rule that I'm implementing. It's like a philosophy that I follow, right? Then finally, we've got the 5 rituals. And rituals are like, you know, the morning routine, your evening routine. I've got routines whereby I like write for 90 minutes a day. So I do like loads of YouTube scripts and I'm writing. Another one is like 90 minutes of focus, whereby I literally switch my phone off, everything's off, and for 90 minutes, I'm like, go, don't look at anything, just focus on that one task you got to get done. And those are the rituals. So you've got the system here, right? That's the 30 system. If you answer these questions, you will go so much further than the majority of the world's population. Honestly, like you'll get so much clarity and you'll be so far ahead of everyone that you would have wished you started this years ago. And it is about regret, right? When you get to the end of the year, you don't want to regret what you had last year. And doing the annual review kind of helps you to not have that regret, right? And it puts you on the map for the end of the year to say, wow, I've had this major year. And you tell everyone about it. You can tell stories about the year that you've had. And then the next year you can make it even better. And you're this magician, you're this wizard, right? And the question is that if you can do anything from now to the end of the year to have the greatest year of your life, what would you do? And that is the question. So answer the 30 system, the questions I had, the 5 questions. Think about the strategy we've taken you through. Think about the vision, the priorities, the philosophy, the strategy, and the delivery, okay? And how are you going to implement these into your life? I honestly wish you guys the absolute best year ever. Like, I really hope you do take this on and try it, because if you don't try it, you never know if it was going to work for you. So give it a go, spend a few hours doing it and see where this is going to take you. Once you know where you're going and you've got that vision in front of you, things become easier. And that's how you find your passion and your purpose. Hope that was good, man. I'll speak to you guys soon. Thanks a lot. Stay safe. Bye.